What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to basketball. So hey, this is the last video I'm gonna be doing before I kind of start to really lock in on like wedding stuff and going on my honeymoon and stuff like that. Don't worry, after this video I've got a bunch of pre-recorded stuff coming out to you guys that I think is really cool. It's gonna be our preseason or season preview series. I don't exactly know what I'm calling it yet, but it's already on YouTube, ready for you guys to go. But you guys are going to be watching this, I believe, on what is the date? It's going to be the 15th of August, and then you guys will have 3 to 5 videos to watch every single week, and we'll get back to it after that. But what are we doing today? Well, I figured to kind of wrap things up before I really start to lock in on that stuff, I'm like, let me just do an overall just rumor roundup on the NBA is kind of what I've decided to call this. Just taking a look at all the little rumors that are floating around the NBA and just talk about them. See what you guys think about them. Leave your comments below, and yeah, let's go crazy with it. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, and comment. I've responded to every single comment on my YouTube channel up to this point, and I intend to keep on doing so. All right, let's try to survive the last little bit of this dead point in the season. Why don't we? So I'm here on Bleacher Report, and I'm just kind of scrolling, seeing what I find is interesting. Jerami Grant on the Lakers' radar. What do we think about something like that? Like Jerami Grant on the Lakers, like it's an upgrade, maybe, it depending on what they give. What are they giving up for Jerami Grant? That's kind of my thing. Like, I'm sure Jerami Grant is at least a pick and like maybe some sort of interesting player going back, and you have to match the salaries and everything. I don't even know how you'd like reasonably do that. So, and then what does that get you? That moves LeBron back to the wing. Not the worst thing in the world. I'd prefer that maybe he's like a forward at this point, so maybe he's not guarding people that are moving quite as often. But I don't know. I just don't think Jerami Grant's going to like do a ton for you. I like that he's able to space the floor decently at this point, but I don't know. I think I'd rather just have some more depth on this team and hope that we could maximize D'Lo and Reeves and like Anthony Davis and stuff like that, while kind of turning LeBron into more of like a secondary ball handling option where he's just being a really smart cutter and being around the rim a little bit more. That's kind of what I'd like to see at the very least, but whatever. We press onward to see what's going on. Cavs giving Jarrett Allen some money. Grizzlies re-signing Luke Kennard. Interesting enough, teams horrified of surpassing the second apron. Yeah, for those of you that don't know, man, like I know we talk about it a lot on these channels, but those aprons, they're nothing to be messed with. The New York Knicks don't want to trade Randle. Yeah, I could totally see that. Like, is there a glaring kind of open roster spot at the center position? I would say so. I'd say they could use one more guy with some size, and logistically, how I'm thinking of the lineup right now, Randle's probably going to have to play the 5. But like, yeah, I wouldn't want to trade Julius Randle either. I mean, he's like an all-NBA level player at his max, so that's not really an easy thing to come by. Now, is there an argument that you could get some really good assets for Julius Randle? Probably. I'm sure somebody would be interested in him. They'd give you a couple picks back, and you just got rid of a lot of them. You probably get some other rotational players that could help you out. Maybe you could get another big somehow, some way on the team, but you could also just have all NBA type Julius Randle. Now, is he going to like clog the paint or things like that, or be too much of a ball stopper? That's totally a possibility, but we're going to hope that the Knicks and like all their other great players and everything, that they can just kind of go make it work. I think the star power of Julius Randle is probably important to them, so I'm not necessarily surprised that that's how they're doing things. Early NBA trade predictions. I kind of want to read this. Predicting NBA stars and players who will be dealt by the 2025 trade deadline. How many people are on this out of curiosity? So I'm going to guess Anthony Simons, Jerami Grant. Who else are we going to say? Like Zach LaVine has to be one of them that's on there, right? Who else am I thinking of that could be on this list in some capacity? Are they going to say like Kuminga or something like that? They're probably going to say like Lauri Markkanen or something like that. So I don't know. Jerami Grant, yep, that makes a lot of sense. We already talked about that. Oh, yep, Brandon Ingram. Is he going to be traded? I don't know. I don't necessarily think so. I don't know who's like in the market for it at the moment. Now, that would be an interesting Lakers pickup if they could make that work somehow. That I think would be interesting, but I'm not sure exactly who would be all that interested in like a Brandon Ingram move, presuming that he's not going to sign like an extension or anything right now with NOLA, or if he does, I think that becomes an even harder thing to sell somebody on unless he's like really cooking from 3 this season. Like, I really like Brandon Ingram as a player, and I don't mind him staying in New Orleans, but is what it is. Zach LaVine, yeah, I think his talents can be used somewhere, man. Like, at points, he's been a good defender in his career. Good, not great. Good. Relax, comment section. All right, I know you all got your preconceived notions or whatever. Go study some film. Go read some stats. Go. go, go do it. But there's still just not many offensive players better than Zach LaVine in basketball. So somebody's going to want his services in some capacity. I know it's a lot of money, but you know what? That's what you got to do if you want a chance to win a championship. So is what it is. Oh, D'Lo. I don't understand the D'Lo rumors. What are we trying to get for D'Angelo Russell? I don't understand. Like, D'Lo had a good season overall, like last season. He had a good season. Yeah, there was points in the playoffs where things don't look well. But look, man, like, how many guys are consistent, like, all the time? It's hard, right? Like, dude's very talented at the end of the day, and you don't always use him in the best way. So I would like to just see D'Lo be more of an on-ball dominant guy. Just let him go. And then Anthony Simons, yes, please trade him to Orlando. That's all I really want to see. Please and thank you. Let's move on to see other things. Fultz not receiving free agent interest. Yeah, we talked about it in the video you guys saw. It would have been on Tuesday of this week. Like, I think Fultz can still be very serviceable. Like, I think a lot of us like to just say that players are ass after they're deemed like not being able to shoot. There's just so many other things in basketball nowadays. It's like the people that insisted that Ben Simmons was a bad basketball player at points. Ben Simmons was one of the best players we had in the league at one point. Like, he could literally do everything but hit three-pointers. Like, I would kill to have that as a coach. Like, when I was watching Ben Simmons play, I was like, oh my God, I'd kill to have this guy. He just makes everybody's life so much easier. Did it make sense for him and Embiid to ever be on the same team? No, but like, whatever, right? Like, come on, man. Like, not everybody's going to be elite at everything. It's just not possible. But we talked about teams that, like, I think could still use Markelle Fultz, so go watch that video if you're curious about that. I don't know. I think we can find a place for him nonetheless. Same with Talen Horton-Tucker. We did the exact same thing. Still waiting for a real offer. I would agree with that. Wizards likely to trade Valanciunas. Yeah, that has to be what they were doing with that, right? That was one of the few free agency signings that I kind of went like, interesting. What's the idea with this one? Because I was like, okay, veteran big man on the team. It's good to have a vet on this team. Cool. I was like, this wasn't exactly the thought behind it, but in a market where there's not many centers, you can hold one of the better ones hostage that could be available. That can be a really good way for them to start to acquire some draft capital because they don't have like a ton of it for what stage of their kind of rebuild that they're at. So if he can just be solid for them and like help Sarr develop a little bit in the meantime, and then at the trade deadline, a team that's looking for a center or something like that, maybe the New York Knicks, they might be able to make that money work because they're technically just a first apron team, I believe. So maybe the New York Knicks, maybe we can make something work with that. And I think if they did that, that'd be a really clever signing. You know, bring a guy in like that, he gets his money and then gets traded to a better team later. Everybody's happy then. Pods and Kuminga not in the trade talks. Yes, obviously at this point we all know that like the Lauri Markkanen trade isn't happening and everything because he signed his contract at that time. Warriors fans, what's going on here? I know in like the Discord, by the way, if you guys aren't in the Discord, go check the description, come join the Discord. If you still can't find it, leave me a comment saying you'd like to be in the Discord. We'd love to have you there and talk about stuff. I've got a Warrior fan or two in there, you know who you are, that were just like, man, like I like Pods too, and I like Kuminga, but damn, it's Lauri Markkanen. Like, he's a good basketball player. He's a really good basketball player. Like, there's just not many people in the NBA that can do what Lauri Markkanen do. I mean, hell, put him on your hands. Like, that's about as many as you got. So, and you're trying to use up the last little bit of Steph Curry that you have. Don't you just feel like you owe it to him at the very least? Like, I know some of you Warriors fans are like dead set convinced that Jonathan Kuminga is going to be an all-star. Like, I just don't think we've seen like that level of play out of him. Like, I don't think we've seen it in like spurts necessarily either. I think he's a good player. I don't think we got like that necessarily on our hands. He's very talented and maybe we could get there, but it's certainly not going to be on the Warriors. Like, they're just not going to put him in a situation to succeed like that. Pods, like, yeah, he probably fits their system just fine and everything, but like, take it this way. Like, you took Pods where you did in the draft. Nobody really thought you were going to get much for it. You got a lot more than you have already in value for it. Use that value now to try to maximize Steph Curry. But now you waited too long and now you can't do that. Teams eyeing Jarrett Allen. Ooh, can we talk about that for a second? What teams do we have an idea of what it is? Rival teams have long viewed the duo of Allen and Mobley as an awkward long-term fit over time. I mean, that's not like a crazy thing to say. Is it like optimal? No, it's an interesting thing to say at the end of the day. You're like, okay, yeah, I got these two big ass dudes out here. Let's just see what happens, right? At the end of the day, size can win you basketball games. So I don't think it's like a crazy thing for them to try necessarily, but what teams are interested in Jarrett Allen? Like, I'm sure a lot of them, Jarrett Allen's a very good basketball player, but I just don't like articles like this where they're like, teams Cavs Jarrett Allen, fit with Evan Mobley seen as suspect. Like, I don't know, it's just saying nothing the whole time. I'm not trying to shit on Tyler Conway or whatever. Like, he's got his job that he has to do and everything, but like, who? Like, who? Like, who's interested? I'm sure everybody's somewhat interested if he became available, but I can't imagine seeing him going anywhere right now. I just don't. The Warriors are going to try to pursue smaller deals since they didn't get Lauri Markkanen. Like, yeah, I mean, who else were they going to go get? Like, maybe you could go get Cam Johnson or Kyle Kuzma or something like that, but that's not going to make, like, all the difference in the world. So you might as well try to, like, fix the roster that you have. Like, you could still use, like, a starter quality, like, center. Like, Kevon Looney's probably a little bit past his time at this point. Need another point guard on this roster in some capacity. I said it in my ideal offseason video. I'm like, if we could somehow get Cam Johnson and like Dennis Schroeder over there from Brooklyn onto this team, you have a much better team already in that capacity. Dennis Schroeder's a very good basketball player. Cam Johnson, shit, I guess put him somewhere. Like, I'm thinking through that logically. Like, Wiggins probably got to go then. Does Cam Johnson play a 3? Ugh, maybe not. I don't love that necessarily. But I don't know. Like, you got to do something to try to maximize what you have left with Steph Curry. You just have to. And smaller deals are going to be how you do it, right? Like, just, you got to bring in like another wing type guy. Maybe you leverage Andrew Wiggins into like a John Collins or something like that. Like, that might be better. But even then, like, Draymond's kind of in the way there. It's so complicated to make it work with that. And again, I think the center is a spot that you absolutely have to do. I'll still say Nick Richards over there in Charlotte is the guy that I would go get for that team, but I don't get to make the rules at the end of the day. The Jazz are linked to Brandon Ingram. I think that's just because we're doing some math about how we can get Walker Kessler over there. Why does Utah want to trade Walker Kessler? I know he had a kind of a suspect sophomore season, but I mean, there was injuries. It was a weird roster that didn't really fit his needs very well. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if the Jazz wanted Brandon Ingram. The Jazz are always trying to get better, and I respect the hell out of the Jazz for it. They're just like, nope, we try to win games at all points. We're just going to make it work somehow. Like, we don't like losing basketball games, and I love that. I wish the Bulls would do that, but is what it is at the end of the day. So yeah, they include like a Walker Kessler and then something else to make it happen. Like, would that be worth it to the Pelicans? Maybe. I could be interested in a Walker Kessler on that team. The Warriors are out on Levine and Brandon Ingram. Yeah, we already said they're talking about smaller deals. I think I'd still probably rather try to get BI on the team, but you know who it is? Ooh, there's the article that we talked about. Here's one that was just coming out today. Jonathan Kuminga is seeking a $224 million max extension. Like, why? Like, this has to be like it has to be a form of like asking for a trade, basically, right? Like, there's no way this dude is happy here. There's no damn way. So like, let's pull up Kuminga, right? Like, let's pull him up. And you guys tell me if that's someone you want to give this much money to. So 16 points a game in your third season, incredible. That's awesome, right? 3-point shot, it's not going up and it's not going well for the time being, right? You're getting 4 to 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 turnover. That's not great. Like, the Warriors just aren't going to put him in a situation to succeed. Like, he's scoring this much because somebody had to on the team last season, right? And even more so probably this year. Like, maybe we can get him up to 20 points. He might have to if Wiggins isn't like really ready to go this year in some capacity. So, man, like, I couldn't imagine them giving Kuminga that. Like, apparently they're really locked in on him in pods, but like, is that your future plan? Like, Moody clearly doesn't want to be there. Like, Kuminga has said he doesn't want to be there. He was like, dude, I don't even get to play. And then Kerr started playing him and he played a little bit better, right? A little bit better. He played quite a bit better. But even still, like, we're not getting like a crazy like level of production where we're like, oh yeah, this guy could be like a future all-star or something like that. And look, the all-star game isn't like, it's just a weird accolade that people vote on at the end of the day. It's not a big deal, but you guys know what I'm saying by that. Like, someone that's in the upper echelon of basketball players. I guess I should clarify that. But yeah, no, I couldn't imagine him getting that kind of deal. Like, if I'm the Warriors, man, you have to get out of here, X. Like, just try to maximize Steph Curry. Like, give up Moody, give up Kuminga, give up Pods, man. Like, just go get that dude some players. He's done so much for your franchise, and then you can go into a happy rebuild after he's gone. Like, you did it. You had a dynasty. You tried your best to the very end. Don't let him go out like Kobe. Just don't let him go out like Kobe, man. That's all I want to see. Top landing spots for DeAndre Hunter. That's an interesting one because it's like a decent contract and you're getting a pretty solid player overall. So who are we thinking can take on DeAndre Hunter? The Lakers. Lakers are going to be attached to everybody. Yeah, no, I could see that. Who are we giving up to like make that happen? Like a Rui and like something else? Like, yeah, I can get behind that. At least he's going to be a steadier 3-point shooter. You're going to get probably more consistent defense. He's comfortable without the basketball more. So yeah, no, I can see that one. That makes some sense. Cleveland, yeah, same ordeal. You need a wing with a little bit more size that can play some defense on this team. I think that would make a lot of sense. Who would you actually have to trade to make that happen? I don't exactly know. Can we go to Fanspo quick? Oh, how I love Fanspo. Fanspo is both really cool and not at the same time. Okay, so 21 million. They're an over the cap team. Okay, so it doesn't have to be like perfect. So we can send him over there. We send like Levert back or something like that. I'm guessing that just works as is, right? Okay. Interesting. Why do the Hawks want Karis LeVert? Because they don't want DeAndre Hunter is the answer. They don't want to pay him that much money. They've saved some money this way. This gives them flexibility the year afterwards to do something. Maybe you get some sort of like second. Oh my gosh, do you have a lot of second round picks? Actually, not really. You just don't have many first round picks. So okay, you throw in a couple second round picks or something like that. You say you get the salary relief. We get a player like. Not a bad deal. Okay, I can see that working. That can make some sense. The Spurs would be dope. I'd be down for that. You can move Harrison Barnes like to the bench or whatever, or Keldon Johnson or whoever you kind of envision playing that 3. I'm just not sure what to do with Keldon Johnson yet. I like his talent, but I just don't know. So okay, that's interesting nonetheless. Warriors didn't try that hard to land Markkanen since Pods was completely off the table. Yeah, no shit. Like, it's not that complicated. The top 8 players your team should target next season. Don't really care all that much. Don't really care. And then Svi Mikhailuk was a thing. Is there anything else all that interesting? Ooh, what was that? What was that? Where did you go? I saw something. Kuminga seeking full max D'Lo trade idea to help the Lakers retool. Ooh, do tell. Full trade scenario. The Lakers get Trey Mann, Nick Richards. That's who I've been saying. I love Nick Richards. They get a trade exception. 2 of them. I like Trey Mann and I like Nick Richards. Okay, I like both. I don't think the Hornets are actually going to give him up. Like I don't know if you watched, like their GM was kind of talking about how he's like, oh yeah, like he's like, how are these guys going to fit around like Melo, Brandon Miller, and like Trey? And so like they're kind of thinking of him in the same vein. And I'm glad that they are because I saw enough out of him last year where I'm like, ooh, very interesting. Like I could see that next to LaMelo Ball. That can make some sense. The Hornets get D'Angelo Russell. Why? Why do they want D'Lo? Why? It hurts my brain. Bleacher Report, sometimes you hurt my brain. Jalen Hood-Schifino. Why? Why do they want him? Cam Reddish. Okay, so we've drawn up a trade. Like this, I'm not gonna lie, this seems like a trade that I sometimes see in the comment section or something like that, where I'm just like, okay, we can't just throw in another team where we just dump things and then just say like they get a first round pick or something like that, right? Yeah. Second highest first rounder from the Cleveland Cavaliers, Minnesota. Yeah. Okay. And then a trade exception, and then the Jazz get Micic and a protected first rounder from the Lakers. Because what did the Jazz give up in this one? They gave up the pick to get Micic? Why the Lakers do it? I can see, I can't even quite see. Like, this hurts my brain. I know I'm not talking enough right now. I'm really trying to figure out what's going on here. Yeah, tell me why the Hornets do this. Tanking for Cooper Flag. Well, I guess kind of, but like not really. Like you're not. You're getting like good players in D'Lo and like maybe Christian Wood. I don't. It hurts my brain. That's why ball playing just 22 games. Okay, so you're just presuming LaMelo will never play again. Okay, I get it. But with Miles Bridges, Grant, Josh Green, Ball, Miller, now the Hornets should be able to take a step forward. Okay, instead of reinvesting in man, the Hornets would add the best player in the deal. Okay, I'm not mad at maybe trying to win if that's what we're trying to do. D'Lo seems like a weird way to try to do that on this team, though. Charlotte also gets Hood-Schifino, who was drafted at the 17th last year, along with a couple minimum players. The latter could replace Richards. I don't know if y'all watched Jalen Hood-Schifino. Boy was not ready to play last season. I'd find it hard to believe he's ready to do it this season. Yeah, what do the Jazz get out of this? Adding a veteran like Micic could temporarily fill a need in Utah, even if he only has 1 year of NBA experience. Yeah, the Serbian point guard almost helped his country upset Team USA. That's true. They've got plenty of like point guards though, so I don't know. I don't necessarily get it. Oh, Steve Kerr says he's going to start Durant. That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, hey, that's all I got for you guys. I basically just wanted to get like one more video out to you guys, kind of talk about what's going on in the league beforehand. But hey, I appreciate it as always. The next time you guys see me, at least this last time I'm sitting down, I will be married. I'll be back from Jamaica. I'll try to get some videos or something for you guys from there. Hopefully it'll be good, and we'll get back into the preseason preview videos. But hey, thanks so much as always, and we'll talk to you guys later. Bye.